Hello everyone and welcome back to Silver Web Homestead. In this video we're going to be doing an overnight smoked brisket that cooks at a low temp of 200 degrees for about 19 hours and then gets wrapped and finishes at 250 degrees. First I start by getting this brisket nice and dry with some paper towel, making sure to get in any crevices and around the edges. I picked up this nice 9-pound flat, which should be more than enough to feed about 6 people. While the meat rests for a few minutes, I'm going to prep the Camp Chef DLX24 for the cooking process. You want to make sure your drip can isn't full and to empty out any old pellets or ash from the burn cup by pulling this handle a few times. Then you want to remove the ash can from underneath and dispose of all the old gunk that's in there. Next we are going to remove the grates, the drip tray, and the heat deflector, making sure to shake the dust and ash off of the heat deflector. I like to put a layer of tin foil on the drip tray for easier cleanup, so I'll remove the dirty foil and add a fresh layer before reinstalling. Then, with a shop vac, I'm going to suck out all of the old ash and dust from the last cook to avoid any flare-ups in the chamber. After that, it's some fresh foil on the drip tray and then everything goes back into the Camp Chef. If your internal temperature probe is coated with smoke buildup, take a scouring pad or steel scouring ball and scuff up the probe until it's nice and shiny again. This will ensure your probe is getting an accurate reading during your cook. Next, we're going to fill up the hopper with the pellets of your choice. I'm using Traeger Competition Blend today, and I like to tamp it in with a stick just to make sure the pellets feed evenly and there's no pockets in there. Next up, we're going to make sure that the lid is open and then turn on the startup process. I'm going to start at a temp of 350 degrees to get everything fully warmed up and to burn off any gunk from the previous cook. Once that timer runs out, you'll get a notification through the app and then you can close the lid. Once the grill is ran at 350 degrees for some time, I'm going to lower the temp to 200 and turn the smoke setting all the way up to 10. For today's rub, I'm going to be using some ground black pepper, some Bearded Butcher black seasoning, and the Traeger coffee rub, using some yellow mustard as a binder. I'm also going to smoke some of this beef tallow to add when I wrap the brisket and to add during the resting phase. First, we're going to get a nice slather of mustard all over the brisket. I use a little too much on this side, but it's not a big deal as it will cook off. This will help the seasoning stick and help with getting a nice bark. Next, I'm going to do a generous coat of the black pepper. Don't be afraid to go a little heavy with your seasoning, making sure to get the sides as well. This is a large piece of meat, so you really can't overdo it. Then we're going to do a nice layer of the coffee rub, followed by the Bearded Butcher black seasoning. You can already tell this is going to have a nice color to it. Then we're just going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Don't be afraid to pat the seasoning into the meat with your hand. You just don't want to rub it, else it'll come right off. Next, I'm going to put my stainless bowl of tallow on the top shelf to render down and pick up a nice color and smoky flavor. Then I'm going to lay down the brisket flat and kind of push the sides in so it sits evenly on the grate. Next, I'm then going to insert the temperature probes, one on each side as close to the middle mass of the slab as you can get. Then we're just going to close the lid and let it do its magic. I'm going to open up the app and set the probe alert for 165 degrees. I want to pull the brisket and wrap it at 175, so this will give me some time to prepare for that. Now that I've set the alert, I don't have to worry about this until tomorrow. The brisket's been cooking for about 20 hours at 200 and it's right at 175, just where I want it. The meat is looking great with a nice dark bark. Now it's time for me to take it off, wrap it up, and put it back on for the final phase of the cook. To pull it off, I use some cotton gloves with some vinyl gloves over the top of them, which allows me to grab the meat without having to worry about getting burned. I'm going to cut 2 strips of butcher's paper a little over 2 feet long and overlap them. I'm going to do a quick spritz on the paper with some plain water to make the paper a little more pliable and easier to get a tight wrap. Next, I'm going to grab that rendered tallow and get it ready to pour on for the wrap. Then we're going to bring over the star of the show and place it slightly off center on our paper. And then I pour on some of the smoked beef tallow, saving about 1/3 of it for the resting phase. Then all you have to do is wrap it up as tightly as you can. Creasing the paper is needed to get a nice even roll. Any excess paper that you're left with, you can just fold up and tuck flat underneath the packet. Go ahead and toss that bad boy back on the smoker and reinsert your temperature probes. Then we're going to hop on the Cap Chef app, turn the temperature up to 250 and turn the smoke level down to 1. After a couple of hours in the wrap, the probes have reached the desired temp of around 203. Just to be sure, I'm going to rip open a slit in my paper and take some readings with my thermal pin to make sure we are at the right temp in all spots. And if the probe slides in nice and easy with no resistance, that's right where you want to be. Everything is looking really good, so it's time to pull it off the smoker and start the resting process. I'm going to take a couple of good-sized sheets of foil and lay them out on the table. Now we're going to place the whole wrapped bundle onto the foil. The slit you cut open to check the temp, we're going to open that some more and pour in the rest of the tallow. You can also save a little tallow to pour over your meat after you slice it. Then we are going to nicely wrap everything up to get a nice tight seal. You want your meat to rest slowly so the juices reabsorb. So I'm going to place the package into this meat resting blanket, and then after that I'm going to place the meat resting blanket into this large insulated cooler bag. Once that's done, we just have to engage the shutdown process for the Camp Chef. You can do it on the front panel or you can do it from the app. Once the 20-minute process is over, it'll turn itself off automatically. It's 4:30 p.m. now and our guests are scheduled for 7, so it should be enough time for a nice rest on the meat. Now it's just time to pop it open and see how it turned out. The bark looks pretty awesome with a nice deep dark color to it. The bearded butcher seasoning is now a new favorite of ours. The overnight cook is my go-to now. It's kind of a no-brainer. You don't have to worry about it too much and you're always going to be done in time. Our guests loved it. This is a very good cook, as you can see when I'm slicing it here in a moment, all the juice pouring out. It came out delicious. I highly recommend using some smoked tallow on there. It makes a world of difference. Came out very tender. It definitely passed the finger test. It pulls apart like butter. It was top notch. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Feel free to like this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see future videos. And thank you so much again for watching.